But the isn't a sad history. Instead of he's one of society and autonomy, of the unlikeliest resource. Yakubu began written. And written. And written. The object she chose was oddly fit for the kid wedding surviving novel. Quickly whole novels founded. Spelled and published in her home Hausa tongue, they fueled on a entire literature subgenre, littattafan soyayya, loving publication, that year after has grown up in a successful cabin production for the female of Kano. Kano's largest disruptive writer, she at first journeyed to the northern country in a backup of Yakubu's largest renowned roman, Iniquity is the Pup How Follows You Household, suggested by a boyfriend. The roman is one of the largest available of the Hausa-loving publication, the at first by a female to be transferred in British, and accessible on Insight. A pair of days in the trip, she met in Yakubu, detecting her history and the force her speech include had on other. Kid wedding is a enormous question in northern Nigeria, Gordon says. In cities he's less than overall rather than in the villages, but in villages and village areas girls get marital everywhere of 12 to 16. Yakubu has aimed the object in her own novels, a gallery Gordon describes as same largest disruptive of the style. In Someone Will Wednesday an ignorant female. Yakubu addresses the object of kid wedding, and its ensuing consequences, of a woman prospect. Figure on her own experiences, Yakubu's written giving readers a burning conviction of a experience how she was capable to come of, but other might know. Throw ants how's not to say all the authors compose on such a severe or separating issues. Down there's a enormous kind, says Gordon. Several are didactical, and say out versus humane trade and some public issues. But later several of the books are norm novels, on a impoverished lady how gets a wealthy person. In Kano, the lifetime of a volume exists for its definitive web page, in writer's take on the part of throw ants. A lot of female compose their telephone numbers on their books, Gordon explains. Induced by the substance of the novels, some female urge them up and ask for consultation on their marriages. While I was suspended out in writer Ruby Towel, she would include 4 persons' phones, all in various numbers, and they'd be tinkling always. Fight for liberty of speaking. Gordon's photographic demonstrates stacks of Hausa-loving publication folded up in warehouses, a bequest to their popular. And yet down there are several looking to suppress the style. In the area of Nigeria, these female are override their permanent during Muslim community. Flirt in censor of the moral police force and work by the ghost of Boko Haram, they person bombs and volume burnings. Several authors person existing barriers both of openly and informally. Over closed doors, Gordon says down there are blended reactions to the increasing quantity of women authors. In spite its next, Hausa-loving publication yet makes up just a little faction of Nigeria's wealthy and various literature heritage. Present, largest Kano-loving publication remnant untranslated, yet in Yakubu enterprising boundaries and new translations, Gordon hopes her new volume will ensure a searchlight on the blossoming cabin production. She says, same stories are famous in Kano, but they refuge deep in herd of 4, and same authors saw me as a way to do how occur, and were agitated for how prospect, to achieve a greater auditorium. They wish acceptance, fair love all does. Writers you should be read law now period for an African superhero? How so do you aware African illuminated? Get our quiz show and discover out.